What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of 80s RX for MD. My name is Alicia, and I am a first-year medical student. If you are new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So, the first thing that I like to do in the morning is to just look over the schedule that I have laid out for myself, and I usually make that the day before. And then I like to go ahead and try to have my devotional every single day. Of course, sometimes it can be challenging or you forget, but for the most part, I do try to start my day with that. And I feel like when I'm on top of that, it definitely impacts the rest of my day positively. So I would definitely recommend it. So I try to start my day with 2 hours of Anki, and if I'm lucky, I can get through all of my cards. If not, I definitely usually get through half of them so that I have either nothing left at the end of the day or only half of my total cards. So this was a good day, and I was able to get almost everything done in my morning Anki session. So at the end of that 2 hours, then I head to the gym and I try to spend an hour walking at a moderate pace, and sometimes I include some of an incline just so that I'm getting steps in and getting some cardio. But I also finished up the rest of my Anki cards while I was at the gym. I think I had maybe like 90 or so cards, but most of them were review. So when they're review, you can get through them a little bit more quickly. So after my hour at the gym, then I head back to my apartment, and then I just prepared my lunch, basically just seasoning everything so that when it was time for lunch, I could just get straight to cooking and it would be ready pretty quickly. So after my lunch prep, I decided to do just the outstanding tasks that I had because my morning lecture still wasn't ready to be watched. And so this varies week by week, but most of the time it's an independent learning assignment. We usually have between 2 and 4 that are assigned to us per testing cycle. Sometimes it may be small group assignments or anything like that. This time I just needed to make some Anki cards for one of the independent learning assignments, and so that's just what you see me doing here, and that was just a good way to use that time while I was waiting for my lecture to be available to watch. Also, I do have a video on how I use Anki, so if you're not sure where to start, you can definitely check that video out and I will have it linked for you. What's up, guys? I am looking a little crazy, but hey, this is real life. This is what I look like most of the time in med school. Anyway, I'm just checking in with you guys. Sorry, had to adjust the lighting there. I'm checking in. It is 11:17, and honestly, I've done a really great job at staying on schedule. Even things that went a little over, I was able to compensate in other areas. Technically, I'm behind schedule because I should have been starting my lecture at 11, but it took them a little while to actually upload it. I'm not sure why. Some of our lectures, immediately they show up and they're ready as soon as they're done recording, and then others it takes like 15 minutes to 30 minutes, so I've literally just been waiting for that lecture. But while I was doing that, I was just looking through emails, yada yada. But this is a 2-hour lecture, but I've gotten to the point where I can listen to all of my lectures at 2 speed, 2x, and some of them even like 2.5. So I have 11 to 12:30 as the time allotted to watch this lecture. Hopefully I can get done before 12:30. But anyway, it's 11:18 now, so I'm going to start this, and I was able to get almost all of my Anki done before going to the gym. Then I finished the rest of it at the gym, so that was really, really, really good. So pretty much my studying for today is done. But let's go ahead and get into this lecture. So I pretty much never go to lecture unless it's required. I prefer to just do other tasks and get my studying done early and then listen to the lectures at either 2 or 2.5 speed. It definitely took me a while to work up to that. I started around 1.5 and I would have to stop and rewind, and I thought, okay, I'm never going to learn how to do this, but I just would gradually increase the speed a little bit, and as I got used to that, I would increase it a little bit more. So definitely give it a try. Just start somewhere and increase it little by little, and believe me, after a while, you will be listening at quite a fast pace. It is 12:39 and I am finished watching my lecture. Honestly, I am pretty much done with all of the must-do tasks that I had for today, which is pretty exciting. So I think I'm gonna just have some lunch and watch TV, honestly. I do still, actually, a must-do is to, this is just not sitting well with me. Anyway, another must-do for me today is to just make the Anki cards for this lecture, but making Anki cards is not super intense. It's good that I'm done though, because this afternoon I do have my clinical skills class, which is on every Thursday, and they block off 1 to 5 for clinical skills, but a lot of times we go in waves. So my actual wave is from 2:30 to 4, and we're supposed to be practicing exams of the upper extremity. Oh, you hear my stomach growling? Anyway, so it's good to kind of get all this out of the way so that I don't have a lot to do after clinical skills. But I showed you guys kind of my prep for lunch. I'm just gonna cook that stuff up. The cabbage, I usually just saute it, but I'm excited. I have actual time to just kind of sit and enjoy my life. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Hey guys, so it is 4:04. They like have cameras in there and everything, so I was like, not even gonna try to record this. But basically, clinical skills is a class that is supposed to help us hone our clinical skills. Honestly, like, it's more than just book work, you know, and book smarts. You have to actually know how to interact with patients, how to test the things that you need, whatever's relevant, yada yada. Anyway, in first year, clinical skills is very, very foundational, just teaching you how to do different exams, how to do a head to toe exam, how to do a skin exam, musculoskeletal, etc. Now that we're actually in MSK, we did an exam for the upper extremity. So basically the way it's set up, it's really cool. It's literally like a mock doctor's office where there are patient rooms and they're standardized patients who are like paid actors basically. And under these conditions, it was very chill. It wasn't really formal, but if we have like an OSCE, which is basically like our exam, which we will have at the end of this semester, you're supposed to treat it like it's a real patient. And so you shouldn't be asking them like, you should be very formal. For example, you have to make sure you knock on the door, make sure you introduce yourself, use obviously hand sanitizer, apply gloves. And another thing that they like us to do is use common language, not necessarily medical terminology. So like, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm going to palpate. I'd just say, oh, I'm going to feel this, or I'm going to listen. And it's also good to explain what you're doing. So this was very informal, but yes, we were doing an exam of the upper extremity, as well as certain specific tests you would do if someone had a complaint in the shoulder. And we rotated to different rooms. So there's like 8 or 9 patient rooms and a different standardized patient in each. So we were doing the same thing over and over. So by like the second or third room, I think we did 5, by the second or third room, it was very quick. I, you know, kind of had a sense of how I wanted to go through the exam, because really it's important to look, to feel, and then test the range of motion. And so when you first do one, it might be a little awkward, you might forget certain things, but the more you go through doing the same thing over and over, the more second nature it becomes. So as annoying as it was to do the same thing over and over, it was very helpful, and now I know exactly how I'm going to go about doing that exam. Anyway, that was from 2:40 to 4 o'clock-ish. Now we're headed home. And honestly, I did all my Anki this morning, so all I really have left to do, I think, is to make my Anki for today's lecture. And then I want to watch some sketchy videos, and I'll talk about that a little later when I tell you about that lecture. But we're gonna head home now. Gotta get some gas though, because your girl is like on E. I stay on E. See ya. So I'm finally home. I had some errands to run actually, so after clinical skills, I was running around and had a very long commute. Anyway, I was running those errands from about 4 to 5:30. What time is it? Yes, it's 5:29 right now. So I think I'm gonna get some dinner and work on my last 2 tasks for the day, which is making my Anki cards for this morning's lectures. So looking at my class schedule, things that are required, check if there are any lectures, and then I like to, at the end of each day, kind of write a tentative schedule for the next day, just so that I use my time efficiently and all of that, and it's been working well so far. So I'm gonna get something to eat, and then I will do those 2 things. now 7:06 p.m. I have finished making my Anki cards. Honestly, that took a little longer than I expected and I kept getting distracted, but that was a pretty long lecture. It was like 120 slides, I think. So, but anyway, I'm done with that. I've looked over my schedule for tomorrow and I've written my to-do list for tomorrow, so I'm officially done with a day at 7:07 p.m. So I'm gonna put somewhere on the screen kind of a breakdown of exactly how much time I spent studying today, because I know that's usually what people want to know. It's like, how many hours a day do you study? But I will put this disclaimer out there. It literally varies every single day depending on how much required things there are to do, or how many required things there are to do on campus. If it's a day where there's like maybe a required lecture and then a small group session, that definitely kind of changes how much time I have for studying. What I will say so far is that with the start of the new semester, I've been getting up much earlier than I was last semester, and at least so far it's definitely paying off. Last semester, it was very common for me to be studying until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And so I really was getting tired of that, because doing that day after day after day after day, even when you have the weekends to rest, it's exhausting, like actual literally physically exhausting, but also it just wears you down, and it starts to feel a little bit overwhelming. So I definitely want to keep it up in terms of getting up really early and getting started, focusing my time, focusing my energy so that I can have free evenings like this. But this is the end of this video. I'm ready to relax, watch TV, who knows what. I'm actually tired, so I might go to bed really early. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I'm not worried that I need to help you. Let's speak more, let's preach more.